Many years ago, my grandparents owned a little house in San Francisco. Great location up on a hill, a partial view of the bay, and it was a short 20-minute walk to Golden Gate Park. My grandmother tended to her garden, and my grandfather had a shop he liked to work in. They had raised their 2 children in this home, my father and his sister. They really liked their little house. One day, the house next door went up for sale. The home was sold and the new neighbors moved in. A husband and his wife. They seemed nice enough for a little while. Then, a few months later, the wife began to notice things about my grandparents and what they were doing that she just didn't like. She protested the odd hours my grandfather would keep in the shop, drill presses and saws making noise at the wrong time. She didn't like where he parked his car. As you may have already guessed, the list continued to get longer and more invasive. She at one point asked if he would stain his side of the fence to match her back fence, and my grandfather obliged. After that, there was predictably something else she didn't like about the fence. She felt it wasn't in the right place. So she reported him to the city. The city had him survey the property, and as it turns out, the fence was, in fact, encroaching onto her land. So he was ordered to dig up the whole fence and move it over 4 inches. The neighbors' merry-go-round of dissatisfaction went on for about 2 years. And the last straw was when my grandfather came out of his house one morning and his car was gone. It may have been blocking the neighbor's driveway, so rather than asking him to move it, she had it towed. He couldn't really prove who called the tow truck, but he had a pretty good idea. That was the last straw. They decided to sell their house. They were going to move south on the peninsula closer to my parents and my aunt and her family. In addition to those justifications, they were getting really tired of the constant harassment. They put their little house on the market. Strangely enough, the following day they received a full-price offer. This was quite uncommon for the time, back when houses were only $12,000. They accepted the offer and went into escrow. Close of escrow came, and they carried the last of their worldly belongings out of their little house and closed the door. In front of the house was the moving van, accompanied by the new owner. The new owner hopped out of the van, and through some miracle, it was the next-door neighbor's mother. I wonder how that happened. I'll bet you're going to think that there's a moral to this story, probably having to do with a hidden agenda. Claims of impropriety very seldom have to do with the subject that is presented. More likely than not, contained in a rolling list of justifiable demands lie calculated, subversive motivations.